a declaration having been requested in terms of Rule 108, I now allow one member of each political party wishing to make a declaration an opportunity to do so within the time allocation as determined by the Rules Committee. I'll now ask the ANC. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. ANC will have 6 minutes, DA 5 minutes, MK 4 minutes, EFF 3 minutes, and all other parties 2 minutes. Obviously, if you don't have anything more to say, you don't have to take up the entire slot of your minutes. I'll now start with the Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The DA has no declaration on this point. Thank you.
Thank you. MK?
Thank you, Speaker. The MK party draws inspiration from the revolutionary wisdom of Amilcar Cabral, who said, "Hide nothing from the masses of our people, tell no lies, expose lies whenever they are told, mask no difficulties, mistake failures, claim no easy victories." In the spirit of truth and accountability, we must address the naive recommendation by the Independent Commission to approve a salary increase of Mr. Ramaphosa. While the Commission operates independently, this recommendation, along with Mr. Ramaphosa's likely acceptance, raises serious concerns about ethical leadership and its insensitivity to the struggles of ordinary South Africans. At a time when civil servants are denied salary increases and face the threat of retrenchments under the guise of cost-cutting and under-collection by SARS, approving a salary increase for Mr. Ramaphosa is an insult to the nation. It sends a disturbing message that the burden of austerity must be borne only by the poor working class, while the privileged few cruise nicely. South Africans are enduring a period of immense economic hardship, with soaring unemployment, rising inequality, and deepening poverty. Public servants, the backbone of service delivery, are being asked to sacrifice, yet the head of state, a billionaire with immense personal wealth, including game farms, stands to gain further from the public purse, where the Gogos also contribute. This is insane. This is immoral. It must also be asked whether this alleged shortfall in Mr. Ramaphosa's remuneration since 2018, when he initially declined salary increases, hasn't already been compensated by the yet-to-be-accounted-for pala dollars under the mattresses and sofas, or the sale of the buffaloes that were allegedly sold but never collected. Today, we are asked to forget about the findings of the Section 89 panel, which found that Mr. Ramaphosa has a prima facie case to answer for allegedly violating his oath of office in terms of Corruption Act, PRECA, foreign exchange regulations, and tax evasion. Honourable members, the decision that this House is asked to make today cannot be viewed lightly or in isolation. It has no single atom of altruism. It reflects a broader trend in societal rot. The trend of prioritizing the enrichment of a political elite over the well-being of the people. True leadership demands humility, sacrifice, solidarity, and selflessness, not luxury and entitlement. The MK party rejects this unjustified salary adjustment in the strongest terms. It is a betrayal of the public trust and an affront to millions of struggling South Africans who queue up for a mere 350. The MK party, government in waiting, has got two recommendations. One, indefinite freezing of all top-level salary adjustments, starting with Mr. Ramaphosa. Secondly, salaries of public office bearers must reflect the nation's economic realities and foster solidarity with citizens. We reject the let-them-eat-cake posture of the ANC and DA coalition. Approving this increase would deepen the divide between the leaders and the people they are meant to serve. The MK Party rejects this recommendation. Thank you.
EFF.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Greetings to the Commander-in-Chief, commissars, fighters and ground forces fighting off in the heat wave of Tabazimbi. Victory is certain. Speaker, the EFF rejects the proposed draft declaration increase for Mr. Ramaphosa's salary to nearly 4 million a year. The same person in this office of the presidency whose well-being the state is responsible for in every respect. We pay for his petrol, accommodation, travel, electricity, water, and even for entertainment. We pay for everything of Mr. Ramaphosa. The president should be ashamed of himself for accepting this salary increase under the current economic circumstances. He has failed to grow the economy, refuses to grant public servants an inflation-adjusted wage increase, and is unwilling to increase social grants. He is the same president who have cancelled the 350 released grant, yet we want to increase his salary. This is the same man who presented to us that he is a billionaire and is having his own money. A billionaire that stuffed his cushions and couches and beds and pillows full of US dollars that he didn't declare at SARS, he didn't declare at the Revenue Bank. That is the same billionaire that today is asking this House to adopt an increase. If I was Mr. Ramaphosa, I would have said to my comrades, don't bring this here because you are just embarrassing me. But because he's money hungry, he's greedy, he accepts such proposals to increase his salary. Meanwhile, workers are told they cannot accept salary increases because the economy is struggling. These are the people who deserve wage increases, not Mr. Ramaphosa. That was proclaimed the billionaire president. That today want this House to accept his billionaire, his increase of his salary. There are many police stations that doesn't have enough police vehicles, doesn't have enough police officers. But Mr. Ramaphosa is coming to this House seeking for some increase. There are many communities and universities that doesn't have enough universities and TVET colleges, but yet we are here seeking an increase for Mr. Ramaphosa. He should be ashamed of himself and not accepted this and not even bring this motion here by the Commission.
Honorable Mhlangwini, can you please take a seat? Order, Honorable Member, what's the point of order? And under what rule?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on Rule 85. Yes. I think the Honorable Member is casting aspersion on the President. He says the President is greedy. Can you check that if that is not breaking Rule 85 on casting aspersion?
I'll check on that. Can you please continue, Honorable Mhlangwini?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Many communities doesn't have water. But Mr. Ramaphosa here wants this House to adopt his salary. When he had his cabinet meeting last week, he should have advised you, Speaker, and say, take off this motion off the agenda. I don't seek any increase. I have accumulated enough wealth. I'm taken care of well enough by the state. My flights are being paid. My everything is being paid, even my medical aid. He even seeks medical attention outside. So we should not, we are rejecting this proposal.
Honorable Mhlangwini?
Yes, Chair, yes, Speaker.
Yes, your time is up, but if you can please wait. I've noted the EFF's rejection. In terms of Rule 85, as the Honorable Member had raised his point of order, and I said I'll come back. Indeed, the word you have used in reference to the President, particularly the word greedy, is unparliamentary. Can you please withdraw?
In which context, Speaker?
In the context in which you raised it because you were impugning on the member.
Okay, it's greediness to want an increase. I withdraw greedy, but it's greediness to want an increase. Thank
Honourable
you,
member, you
Speaker.
can just withdraw and go and take your seat.
I withdraw
Thank
because I
you.
still have work to do here.
Thank you. IFP.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The IFP has no declaration. Thank you.
Patriotic Alliance.
Honorable
Manya, what is your
Speaker,
point of order?
there is no declaration from the
thank you,
PA.
Chair.
Thank you.
Chair, I just wanted to ask that the people that manage the clock, by the time I started speaking, I was already 7 seconds down. Can they start the clock when a person is there? As I arrived there, that thing was not 4.00, it was 3.5.
Honourable member, thank you very much. We'll note that. FF plus.
Honourable Speaker, no declaration from the EFF plus.
Thank you. Action SA.
Madam Speaker, this motion, if we were a corporate body and we were talking about the increases of the salary of a CEO of a company, the increase would have to be performance related. Now, we're talking about the increase of a salary of a president who happens to be a billionaire, but we could have a president tomorrow who isn't a billionaire. And we don't bemoan anyone earning a salary. But if you want an increment in your salary, you must perform better. And if you look at the GDP figures today that were released, our performance is not suitable to giving anybody an increase. And I want to remind the members of this House that spoke so eloquently about why the President shouldn't get an increase. Soon we're going to be talking about whether we should get an increase, and it's directly related to the presidential increase. So we'd like to see consistency for the people who say no to the President to say no to themselves. And the fact of the matter is that there are too many people in this country that go to bed hungry at night, without shelter, without support, and that is all related to the performance of the government. So I want to say today as Action SA, we support this increment only because it is below inflation and only because it's lower than public sector wage increases. So there is a modicum of conservatism in this motion. But we must understand if you want more, you must deliver more. Thank you.
Thank you. ACDP.
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. Speaker, the ACDP is cognizant of the constitutional and statutory obligations of the Independent Commission for the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers, mandated to make annual recommendations related to the salaries and or upper limits of the salaries, allowances, benefits, and the resources required by defined public office bearers, which includes the President of South Africa, to enable them to perform their respective duties effectively. The ACDP also notes the Minister of Finance, as a key stakeholder, gave his support for the Commission's recommendations of a 3% and 2.5% cost of living adjustment for all categories of public office bearers for the 23-24 and 24-25 financial years, respectively, notwithstanding the current economic challenges. The ACDP acknowledges that the Commission had to take into account a number of issues to bring equity and fairness to the POB remuneration, including the issues of roles and responsibilities, the effects of inflation, and the potential disparity in remuneration across public office bearers. Additionally, the Commission had to consider the fiscal condition of the state's wage bill, and the impact of POB salary increment on the fiscus. Honourable House Chairperson, Speaker, in accepting this remuneration recommendation, the ACDP reminds the nation that it supported the recommendation to adopt the Section 89 panel Pala Pala report, which indicated that the President has a case to answer. And just as this Commission applied the principles of equity and fairness in dealing with the remuneration of POBs, the GNU and others cannot place its principles in their back pockets to secure their jobs by protecting a President who has a case to answer. I thank you.
Thank you. UDM.
No declaration, Speaker. Thank you.
Rise Mzansi.
No declaration, Speaker, with support.
Bosa.
No declaration from Bosa, Madam Speaker.
ATM. ATM. Al Jama.
No declaration, Speaker.
NCC. NCC. PAC.
No declaration, Speaker.
Thank you. UAT.
No declaration, Speaker.
Good. Good. ANC.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Can I request that you also allow me to take the minutes of all others who did not come?
No, I won't.
Because I think the reason why they did not take the opportunity is because they expected to be covered by what the ANC is going to say. So the first thing I want to say, Madam Speaker and honorable members, is that I think in a very strange way, we seem to be agreeing with what Honorable Trorip was saying. And I'm saying it's very strange. It's not very common that we have an agreement with him. But in this case, we agree with him that the first thing is that this salary increase is below the inflation. That's number one, which is what he has said. And therefore, that makes it reasonable. But the second point that he did not mention is that the determination was made by an independent commission, not by President Cyrill Ramaphosa. President Ramaphosa has not called for an increment on his salary. It is us as Parliament, upon receiving the report of the independent commission, that makes a decision whether the increase must be supported or not supported. I think we need to clarify that because sometimes the misconception travels faster than the objective reality, because that is what has happened. So we are supporting this as the ANC, firstly because, as was said earlier on by this other honourable member, is below the inflation, but secondly because, as members will remember, and I'm sure the public also know about it, the last time there was an increment relating to the office of the president was around 2016, 2017. Of course, all these other years before that, the presidents who have been in office have been enjoying this increment without any objection from anybody. But since President Ramaphosa assumed the office of the president, there was never a time where there was an increment that was improving on his salary, and not just his salary, but also the salary of the former presidents of the Republic of South Africa. So that is the reason why the ANC is of the firm view that really there are no justified bases to disagree with the recommendation of the independent commission on remuneration of public office bearers. So, Madam Speaker, without any further ado, the African National Congress fully support this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I put the question again. Are there any objections to the motion? MKP, EFF.
The MK party objects vehemently.
Thank you. EFF.
We definitely object.
Thank you.
Because both of you are objections.
Order.
UAT object.
UAT object. I don't see any other hand. Therefore, the motion is agreed to.
On a point of order, House Chair.
What's the point of order, Honorable Ntangwini?
Honorable House Chair, for an elder to behave the way as the minister or deputy minister is behaving is unparliamentary. If whoever takes the mic and just speaks into the mic, and
Honorable
none of you
member,
seem to want to correct him.
Can you please?
But please, you are an elder.
Can you please take a seat? Honorable members, Honorable Ntangwini, I had immediate order. I immediately ruled when there was a noise. I did not see where it came from, but I did call an order. And can we please proceed?